have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
With Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Good morning, everybody. And I was a little taken aback last night. So I'm sitting here, doing my little roundup. What am I going to be talking about today? And by the way, we're going to be focusing heavily on the Merrick Garland hearing. Got a lot of clips from that. Also, the United Nations and their agenda, the UN General Assembly, heavy on that. But when something like this happens, I have to lead the show with it because it's just so intertwined in the bread and circus of the political field. And this one hit home just a wee bit harder, So we're just going to start it off here. So I'm scrolling. And I see, and it's like one of the top things, and it's showing like the motion video of Trump, and I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, is that the Treehouse? I was there, I don't know, 24 hours before Trump was. Maybe a little bit longer. I literally ate lunch there. Awesome. It's right around the corner. I think it's about like 2 miles. It might be less than 2 miles away. It takes me about 5 minutes in a car, sometimes less, depending on the lights I hit to get there. I see John Mnemonic saying, welcome to the party, pal. It makes me just want to do the, welcome to the party, pal. I can't help myself. I'm juvenile like that. And so, I guess I'm about to be 3 years in Iowa in a little over a week or so. And this is my first presidential run-through. I guess you see everything about the presidential elections and the run through Iowa, but just such a smaller place overall. Now, where I live is larger than when I used to live, but when I talk about the state, comparatively to New York, it's just so tiny that I guess I kind of forget at times that politicians sometimes have to go to a concentrated area, and I guess we're at the core of that because of the primary system that we have in place. And yeah, Trump literally doling out pizza boxes. And look, here's the deal. The guy knows what he's doing. And this isn't me going, wow, gee, go Trump. We're definitely voting for you because you ate at the Treehouse. No. But let me tell you something. The Treehouse's chicken sliders, wow. And in fact, I've been there. It's got to be a couple dozen times now. At least 20 plus. Never had a bad meal there. Never wanted to send something back. My buddies like the pizzas there. As a New York pizza guy, it's not my style. It's like almost like the thin, like super thin, like cracker crust. It's not like a real dough. So for me on that, that's more like a, gimmick than a pizza. But I've had them. They're pretty delicious for what they are. The burgers there, rock solid. Rock solid. I had the Doc Holiday that's what I had before Trump got there. And we're talking about a meaty burger topped with some delicious pulled pork and cheddar, and the fixins if you want them. Then, what else could you ask for? Now, why am I saying Trump is brilliant for this? This is what people want, unfortunately. In a way, it's the reason that there he is. Look at the guy owning the room. By the way, the guy right over his shoulder here, that's the owner of the establishment. And this is reality rants, and why not, right? Just to give you, I don't know the guy personally, comes over from time to time, very talkative, very pleasant, at least to me. And here's the funny story. So, like I said, I ate lunch there the day before Trump comes in. And I mean, guys, the guy's a rock star in this area. He's literally signing, I'm pretty sure that could be the owner's. You know what? I don't want to get into it because I got some text messages over it. Who this person was, who that person was, whatever. But he also signs her arm, which she says she's going to get tattooed. That's the level of Trump love here. Okay, let's just play it.
All these people here. This is going to be a record. This is a record night. This is my whole thing. You're a biggest fan. She's your biggest fan.
Look at the Secret Service guy in the background. He's like, no, buddy, you're not coming over here. No. The guy's a WWE superstar, okay? And getting back to the owner in the video, and maybe we'll come back for the last 30 seconds because this is the sign of this guy. Is it okay, sir? I think that might be his daughter. I don't know. And there he goes.
I hope you get that tattoo. Get that tattoo.
So she's gonna get Donald Trump tattooed on her arm. And like these aren't even like the hardcores of the hardcores. Believe me, I've been around the hardcores of the hardcores. They're out there. But I want you to just think about that. It's not like, I would doubt very much, maybe Carrie Lake told him about the spot. She's from the area. I doubt very much that like he really scoped this out. You know what I mean? Like I think it was kind of just a random thing after he was speaking at an event. Maybe he was hungry, heard the food was good there, and the food is good there. Right? That gets to my story. So I'm sitting there with my buddy, and he goes, the owner, let's just say he's had his problems. I'm not going to throw him under the bus around town. He goes, and certain people feel this way about him and that way about him. He goes, but this place always has business. And you know why? He goes, because the food is good. The service is good. Totally agree. American dream right there. That place, that's what a small business is about. And Donnie T knows that. Donnie T is very well aware that this is, what America wants to see. And that's the thing. America really is behind the guy for the most part. And I want to know, is everybody in this room right here, are they all white supremacists? Are they all domestic terrorists under the Garland justice system? And Garland is a bad guy among many. And as you guys know, I don't think that the Republicans or Donnie T are going to save us, but the way we've been gaslit, okay, and the way that the authoritarian media is able to present things, it's dangerous, man. Like, it's a party now. Is it going to be a party a year from now when they're going, guilty, 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 and then sentencing this guy to prison? Mate, you've got Biden on camera, and we've talked about it, and we've played the clip recently, saying there won't be a Republican Party, possibly, Forget about Trump running again. He's not gonna be the nominee in 2024. That's that little Leslie Stahl woman asking the question, fitting herself into the media narrative recently, kind of slithering in there, if you will. So listen. The cartoon gets darker and darker every day. At the same time, I look at something like that, and it just shows you how different the world is than the world they try to perceive or make you perceive on the magic boxes and in the social media feeds. It's absolutely incredible. Man, like I don't want to get too far in this because I don't want to get thrown off of YouTube here. But this also last night on my Twitter feed. I follow Steve Martin. Obviously, me and Steve Martin's politics are probably going to differ a lot. I think Steve Martin's hilarious. And I like the music stuff. I love all of it. And unfortunately, our sold-out shows at the Wynn in Las Vegas this Friday and Saturday have to be postponed because of the rampant COVID in our crew and one other essential guy. We're sorry for any inconvenience, but we're moving it to mid-December. That's what? Rampant what? What's going on here? And then Jimmy Kimmel. Well, Las Vegas, I got, you know what? He's got it. And sadly, we need to cancel this weekend's Strike Force 3 show. So here's the deal. I've been talking about this recently. And I really do think this is the case, that one of the things that has brought the Writers and Screen Actors Guild back to the table is the fact that they're going to need to push a narrative. Not only an election narrative and that type of thing and getting behind this candidate and that candidate, but a narrative like the one we just kind of discussed. And in order to do that, you need more than just social media influencers. In order to get the older crowd. Like, do you remember, like, the SAFE campaign, the SAFE label campaign? I forget what it was exactly, but and that's sad because, I covered that thing dozens of the Health Safety Seal Initiative. We'll do it live. Let's find it out. Let's go.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. So there it is. So it's the Well Building Seal. The Well Building Seal. In order to push their Johnny nonsense, let's go to the Well Building Seal. Boom. See, there is the nice seal. I want the videos. Yeah, I want the videos of the celebrities pushing this. There we are, the 119. Look for the Well Health Safety Seal. Okay, we're going to go to that. So that's November of 21. This is almost 2 years ago. And this is the kind of nonsense that they wanted also to move the middle class out of being able to have their businesses open after the fact. Because if you got enough people on board with this well and health safety seal, you're first of all, things are largely overregulated. All right, and it's not that I don't want a health department and I don't want sanitary conditions, but anybody that's seen on the inside some of the ludicrous and ridiculous things they do, and then because of cronyism, some of the over-the-top things that they let pass, it's just another corruption game. And this would have brought that corruption to the next level, where they could have said, well, you need a $75,000 HVAC system installed here. And when I say 75, that's what it costs baseline. To the installation is going to be over the top. And that's the only way you're going to be able to stay open. What? I don't have that. Well, I tried to get a loan. Well, the bank's not going to give me a loan. That's going to put me into crazy debt. How am I going to be profitable? Sorry. See ya. See ya. So when we come back, I'm going to play that clip. Again, tons of Garland today. UN, you betcha. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. No matter what you think again about Donnie T, he knows how to do the bread and circuses. He knows how to play the rock star. That's the bottom line, especially in my neck of the woods, apparently. So let's go to a word from our sponsor. We'll be back after this.
Attention Americans, breaking news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. Take action now. The Federal Reserve phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard. Your hard-earned assets are in jeopardy. But there's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Reach out to American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Visit protectfrombiden.com. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Be smart. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Visit protectfrombiden.com to get your free guide and get started. Again, that's protectfrombiden.com.
Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. So let's do it. We like to do it live here. That's what we do. I'm going to go with the minute 19 now. This is J-Lo. You got the Gaga. You got a little bit of De Niro. And by the way, I know I have a De Niro story here where they're going to bring back De Niro as the taxi cab character from Taxi Driver. You know, the psychopath that's driven insane that, you know, makes a political assassination attempt. Everybody loves that movie. It's a really, actually, it's like kind of a dirty feel watch. You know, I wasn't really alive at the time it was put out, so I don't know how it felt culturally. But boy, people love that film. You talking to me? All right, so let's go. Let's get the volume up, J-Lo.
Favorite places and feel confident they have put your health and safety first.
Look for the Well Health Safety Seal.
Look for the Well Health Safety Seal.
Look for the Well Health Safety Seal.
I'm Dr. Richard Carmona, the 17th Surgeon General of the United States of America. This is the Well Health Safety Seal from the International Well Building Institute, the global authority on healthy buildings.
The Well Health Safety Rating was informed by years of research and input from hundreds of leading virologists, public health experts, epidemiologists, and building professionals around the world.
You'll see it at schools, offices, banks, childcare centers, all the places we go.
The Well Health Safety Seal means that we'll feel better going into restaurants,
theaters, stores, hotels,
stadiums, and all the places that we love.
Everything may look the same, but the Well Health Safety Seal means that your health and safety are top of mind when it comes to
cleaning and sanitizing procedures,
air and water quality management,
emergency preparedness programs,
and health services.
So look for the Well Health Safety Seal outside
and feel more confident going inside. Learn.
I don't live my life in irrelevant fear. I don't need your Well Health Safety Seal. I see beyond that. But my point is that they want that. There was one sports star in there, and I'm not sure how it works when you start getting all those endorsements. You know, obviously, I've never been signed by Adidas or Nike. Adidas, what's going on? How's that not happening? Duh. It's a no-brainer. But you know, maybe they're part of the Screen Actors Guild in order to sell a narrative, okay, like the one they're trying to sell. They need that again. They need those dupes. Everything may look the same, but boy, you're going to feel safer. You're going to feel safer because we said so, because the experts said so, because there's a sticker on the door. It's like the I voted sticker. Oh, well, well, my vote must have counted then. Like these are all just like symbols of Johnny nonsense. Of I know a lot of people like to say virtue signaling, but they're symbolic of so much more, because it's not just virtue signaling. When you peel back the layers, and you don't have to peel back many, it's I'm proud of being an ignorant jackass. I'm proud of it. Look at me. I'm on display. I'm willing to go along with anything they say and say, look at me. I participated in their lie. I participated in their rigged election and then told people about the sticker. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't go vote. But like the I voted sticker and then lecturing, are you going to vote? Oh, you voted. Are we going to audit it? Are we going to have one person, one vote? Are we going to have voter registration? Oh, no, we're going to have automatic registration in some states now? Okay. Sure. That makes sense. All this makes sense. So, it's kind of a side story. Let's see if I can bring up the taxi driver story. That's that one there. Yes, here it is right here. Since we got De Niro on the line, De Niro 80 to reprise taxi driver role in iconic "You Talking to Me" line in lucrative ads for Uber to be shot in London. So my question is this guy just circumventing the Screen Actors Guild in America and going overseas and making more money? Like, I need to rewatch that film and really take a look, because that movie, it's a disturbing one for sure. And the Joker did steal a lot from that one. So we're going to be checking that out. I want to shift gears to Garland. Merrick Garland says, I don't know, when asked about how many FBI informants were at January 6th after former assistant director's bombshell claim Bureau had multiple confidential sources involved in the Capitol riot. Of course they did. Now, multiple? Not more than one? Wow! And the sun shines and the sky is blue and the water is wet. It rains sometimes. Like, yeah, the streets and sidewalks are made of concrete. Yep. Okay. No kidding. No kidding. I'm going to play Massey. Massey is the man. And, he's one of the guys. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a lot of people going after Garland right now, and for a multitude of issues, as they should. But Massey's one of my favorites because he doesn't put up with the Johnny nonsense. He says it like it is, and he's unapologetic about it. And even as an older gentleman, and Tom, I'm not knocking your age. I'm just saying you've got a youthful, boyish look, and at the same time, you're extremely intelligent, articulate, and well-spoken. So hats off to Massey. Let's play the clip.
So I'm not going to violate this norm of the rule of law. I'm not going to comment on an investigation that's ongoing.
Peter Navarro was indicted for contempt of Congress. Aren't you, in fact, in contempt of Congress when you give us this answer? This is an answer that's appropriate at a press conference. It's not an answer that's appropriate when we are asking questions. We are the committee that is responsible for your creation, for your existence of your department. You cannot continue to give us these answers. Aren't you, in fact, in contempt of Congress when you refuse to answer?
Congressman, I have the greatest respect for Congress. I also have the greatest respect for the Constitution and laws of the United States. The protection of pending investigations and ongoing investigations, as I briefly discussed in another dialogue a few moments ago, goes back to the separation of powers, which gives to the executive branch the sole authority to conduct prosecutions. It's a requirement of due process and respect for those who are under investigation, the protection of their civil rights.
First of all, they're not interested in protecting those under investigation. That's ridiculous. I mean, the level of lies and deception that are outwardly put here, like, oh, it's a separation of powers issue. What are you talking about? You're literally working for an executive within the executive through the authority of the executive, because the guy who's supposedly heading up the executive can't talk. He can't talk. He can barely walk. He just spoke in front of the United Nations. Have not watched it. Actually have it run up. I don't know if we're going to get to it today. Again, they had him up there for like 20 plus minutes. I was shocked. And the memes I see are like dumb level, where on the TDS side, where they're like, Trump gets laughed at the UN. Biden gets a standing ovation. I'm like, the UN's the enemy. So them laughing at Trump, to me, feels a lot better than them cheering on a zombie puppet that wants perpetual war that let little Rambo get up there too. Little Rambono. Maybe that's what we'll start calling him. It's like, he's kind of like a mix of Rambo and Bono. Yeah, Zelensky. All right. I'm getting a little wild and off course here. Let's get back to Garland and his Johnny nonsense.
Rights.
Well, with all due respect to that, Iran-Contra was an ongoing investigation, and that didn't stop Congress from getting the answers. And you're getting in the way of our constitutional duty. You're citing the Constitution. I'm going to cite it. It's our constitutional duty to do oversight. Now, in that video, that was your answer to a question to me 2 years ago, when I said how many agents or assets of the government were present on January 5th and January 6th and agitating in the crowd to go into the Capitol, and how many went into the Capitol. Can you answer that now?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Oh, last time, you don't know how many there were, or there were none?
I don't know the answer to either of those questions. If there were any, I don't know how many. I don't know whether there are any.
Look at him, biting down on his lip. Massey's like, you lying POS. Asked you 2 years, you lied to me. You're lying now. You damn well know. 100%, Garland. You're not protected from that. You 100% were part of that operation. You refused to answer the question. You are lying and obfuscating. And Massey, see, this is why Massey is the man, bringing up Iran-Contra. You think the generation younger than mine was ever taught Iran-Contra in school? Ever? Go ask your kids, your teenage or college kids out there. Hey, they ever bring up Iran-Contra in school? You learning about that in high school or college? Nope. No way. Not a chance. Maybe a footnote, if you're lucky. Go Massey.
I think you may have just perjured yourself that you don't know that there were any. You want to say that again, that you don't know that there were any?
I have no personal knowledge of this matter. I think what I said last time...
You've had 2 years to find out. And the day, by the way, that was in reference to Ray Epps, and yesterday you indicted him. Isn't that a wonderful coincidence? On a misdemeanor. Meanwhile, you're sending grandmas to prison. You're putting people away for 20 years for merely filming. Some people weren't even there yet. You got the guy on video who's saying go into the Capitol. He's directing people to the Capitol before the speech ends. He's at the site of the first breach.
Look at, I love the two shot here. I love the two shot. Look at Garland's face, like blinking over and over again, confronted with his lies. Just good stuff right here.
You've got all the goods on him, 10 videos, and it's an indictment for a misdemeanor? The American public isn't buying it. I yield the balance of my...
Oh, there it is right there. Now, that's just the beginning, okay? We got way more. I've got Jordan talking to him. I've got the speech from the congresswoman who I guess is from Russia and came over here. I've got that speech. I've got Gates over in my browser. We're locked and loaded today. And that's not, listen, Massey I'm going to thumbs up, subscribe, and share to Tom Massey. I'm going to tell you, Massey is the real deal. Some of these other politicians may not be the real deal. They may really be partisan hacks. And it's tough for me. My other show, I had Vincent Everett Ellison on. It's going to air tonight. And the reason I bring him up is because he wrote a book called Crime, Inc., How Democrats Deploy Mafia and Gangster Tactics to gain and hold power. Okay? Sure, but the right does that too. It's a uniparty most of the time. And, I brought up some of the things, that kind of illustrated that, but it just keeps coming to this left-right paradigm. No, this is an authoritarian paradigm. This is the executive within the executive that Garland is helping facilitate, okay, as a Muppet for it. We got to go to break. We're going to come back. We got more of that hearing. We got the UN stuff. Second hour over at rvmrumble.com. Thumbs up, subscribe, and share, and we'll be back after this word from our sponsor.
When I invented MyPillow, my passion was to help each and every one of you. And 20 years later, all of your support is what keeps us going. Because of you, we've been able to create thousands of USA jobs and help millions get the best sleep ever. To thank you, my employees and I are bringing you a limited edition MyPillow. The Giza Elegance MyPillow is made with my patented adjustable fill, the most amazing cotton, and a 2-inch pipe gusset. It has 4 custom loft levels, machine washable and dryable, and you get my 60-day money-back guarantee and 10-year warranty.
Go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your limited edition 20th anniversary MyPillow queen size. Retails for $69.98, now only $19.98. That's right, get a queen size MyPillow for only $19.98.
From all of us here at MyPillow, thanks America!
All right, we are back. I also do want to remind people, man, the week flies by. It's already Thursday. And if you want more reality rants coming up this weekend, you can get it by doing redvoicemedia.com/uncensored. Try it for $1 for the first week, but really lock it in for a year for $100. It helps support the broadcast. Otherwise, it's $10 a month. After the trial period, we'll have 2 interviews up there for you. I really think the interviews I had last week were dynamite. Greta Crawford, Laura Bartlett, really, really great interview with them. I got, who do I got lined up today? I've got Pasta lined up today, so that's going to be available this weekend. And Pasta Jardula, Craig Pasta Jardula, he's been out to Hawaii at the disaster zone. He's been in other nations auditing their elections in South America and beyond. He's recently been hosting the Jimmy Dore Show when Jimmy is gone, along with Kurt Metzger as the side host. Awesome stuff. Love Pasta. I love seeing him do well. And I love seeing real people in independent media do well. So just awesome stuff. We're going to have that for you. Remember, I think that this weekend, every weekend, the stuff from 2 weeks ago becomes free. So I think that means that the one interview, although we broke it up into 2 parts with Noor bin Laden, will also become free in full. So another great thing about Red Voice Media is that they understand that this information is important and they're giving it away for free anyway. And we have the 3rd hour here where they're running old premiums and interviews with real journalists like Sam Husseini, interviews with top-notch comedians in this space like Alex Stein, right? So very blessed to be working with these guys and so want to continue to do so. And we can only do that if we get your support. So redvoicemedia.com/uncensored. I don't think I plugged it once yesterday in the entire 2 hours. Now, I want to go to Matt Gaetz. He's going to be the next one in this line here of, where? Oh, tell me I've got Gaetz somewhere. Of course I don't. Why would I have Matt Gaetz? Is it all the way down here? Just, it kills me, guys. I get things going, and guess what happens? Things get gone. No, not that one. And we're going to play it twice today.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
Yep. Let's go Gaetz. And because I tried to download it, and it failed twice. And I've got other ones we could go to, but I really want to go to the Gaetz Garland. Boom. Here we go. Gaetz Garland. Yes, here it is. 5 minutes. Boom.
I guess I'm just wondering, Mr. Attorney General, has anyone at the department told President Biden to knock it off with Hunter? I mean, you guys are charging Hunter Biden on some crimes, investigating him on others. You've got the president bringing Hunter Biden around to state dinners. Has anyone told him to knock it off?
Our job in the Justice Department is to pursue our cases without reference to what's happening in the outside world.
Just yes or no. Have you done that?
That is what we do.
So it's a no?
No one that I know of has spoken to the White House about the Hunter Biden case.
I'm wondering then.
Not.
Okay, I got it. So Hunter Biden is selling art to pay for his $15,000 a month rent in Malibu. How can you guarantee that the people buying that art aren't doing so to gain favor with the president?
The job of the Justice Department is to investigate criminal allegations. You have information.
Are you investigating this? I mean, someone who bought Hunter Biden's art ended up with a prestigious appointment to a federal position. Doesn't it look weird that he's become this immediate success in the art world as his dad is president of the United States? Isn't that odd?
I'm not going to comment about any specific.
Not going to comment, not going to investigate. So right. Hunter Biden associate.
He goes, that's right. He goes, that's right. Listen, Garland literally just said, yeah, no, that's right. Not going to comment, not going to investigate.
That is president of the United States. Isn't that odd?
I'm not going to comment about any specific.
Not going to comment, not going to investigate. So right. Hunter Biden.
He goes, that's right. I mean, it's right in your face. In your face. TD. I love seeing real people do well, too. Thank you, Jason and Pasta. Thank you, TD. You rock. You rock over there, over at the Rock Fin. All right, let's keep going.
Biden associate Devin Archer told us that Hunter sold the appearance of access to then Vice President Biden. Are you confident he has stopped doing that?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand the question.
Hunter Biden associate Devin Archer told us that Hunter sold the appearance of access to then Vice President Biden. Are you confident he has stopped?
I'm going to say again that all these matters are within the purview of Mr. Weiss. I have not interfered with them, and I do not.
If you were confident that he had stopped, you could.
And I do not intend to interfere with him.
So it was a lot of Chinese money that was working its way through these shell companies into the accounts of the Biden family. So the China initiative was set up during the Trump administration at the Department of Justice to go after the malign influence of the Chinese Communist Party. And the Biden Justice Department dissolved the China initiative. So I guess I'm wondering, does the department have any documents that would detail the basis for why you got rid of the China initiative that President Trump had set up?
The Assistant Attorney General for the National Security Division gave a long speech which explained that. He has testified before Congress several times. We'd be happy to provide you with.
What's the basis? Just tell us all now. Why was the China initiative dissolved?
What the Assistant Attorney General said was that we face attacks from 4 nation states: North Korea, China, Russia, and Iran, and that we need to focus our attention on the broad range of these attacks. Sometimes we don't know.
Wait a second. Are you saying that North Korea has the same malign influence risk to the United States as the Chinese Communist Party? Are you trying to represent there's some parity there? Because here's what it looks like. It looks like the Chinese gave all this money to the Bidens, and then you guys came in and got rid of the China initiative, and it was successful. Like, I saw one rationale that you guys got rid of the China initiative because it was racial profiling. But one of the people you convicted was a guy named Charles Lieber, who was a Harvard professor taking $50,000 a month to do China's bidding and give them whatever research was being done. Are you?
Wow. I was not aware he threw the Charles Lieber thing out there. That's certainly something we probably can't discuss at length in the first hour of the YouTubans. Now, you know what? Here we go. I'm gonna dance around it a little bit. Lieber, this college professor, getting money, seems to be working with students that are also working for agencies across the pond, but at the same time has all these defense contracts that are intertwined with the university, doing some pretty interesting experimentation when it comes to bio-nanotechnology and virology. And I would say this about that. Although I don't necessarily agree with all the conclusions that she has come up with, Mariam Hanane has done a ton of great work on Charles Lieber, and it is really worth looking at. You see, you got to have discernment. You got to make your own decisions. But Hanane has really gone through the paperwork. And I talked about Lieber years and years and years ago. In fact, this story really started to surface right around the time of the hype around the COVID 1984 nightmare. They almost overlap. And she does a really great job of going through not only source material, but associations with Lieber himself. And I don't want to take it any further than that, what the tech is that he was working on. But rest assured that Gates saying that, whether, again, you like Matt Gaetz or not, that's a huge move. That's a huge move. That politically, if you're in the know, that's a big statement. Okay? Big. Let's go back.
Are you aware of the millions of dollars that moved through Rob Walker's shell companies from Chinese Communist Party entities into Biden family bank accounts? Are you aware of that?
There were a lot of questions that you just asked. Let me start with the first one about North Korea. North Korea is a dangerous actor, both kinetically and with respect to cyber.
But not on par with China. I'm on the Armed Services
I'm not in the
Committee, Mr.
business
Attorney
right
General.
now.
It makes you look unserious to suggest
May
that.
I answer your question or not?
Answer the question about whether or not you know about all the millions of dollars that
So
moved
you
through
don't
Rob
want me to
Walker's
answer about North Korea?
I already know the answer, and so does everyone. They're not the same risk as China. So let's get on to serious questions and serious answers. Do you know about the money that moved through Rob Walker's shell companies, yes or no?
As I have said repeatedly, I have left these matters to Mr. Weiss. I've not intruded. I've not interfered. I've not tried to find out what he knows.
It's like you're looking the other way on purpose because everybody knows this stuff's happening. And you know what? People don't pay bribes to not get something in return. Right? The China initiative resulted in the convictions of a Harvard professor, of someone at Monsanto. So we were working against the Chinese. They paid the Bidens. And now you're sitting here telling me that North Korea is the big threat. I got to get to this one thing on January 6th. So did the FBI lose count of the number of paid informants on January 6th?
Let me answer your question about China.
I want you to answer this question. I only get 5 minutes. You've already sort of, I think, screwed the pooch on China. So January 6th, did you lose count of the number of federal assets? Did you lose count and order an audit?
Gentleman's time has expired.
I get an answer to the question of did they lose count?
No, let him answer the question.
The time has expired. The Attorney General can respond.
China is the most aggressive, most dangerous adversary that the United States faces, and we are doing everything within our power to rebut that, to stop that, to prevent their invasions, both kinetic, and through cyberspace. And we will continue to do
If someone gave that answer in your courtroom when you were a judge, you would tell them they were being non-responsive and you would direct them to answer the question.
Again, he didn't even answer the question about January 6th. And then, obfuscated the Korean question and then gave the obvious answer about China. And look, I'm sympathetic to Gates on this one because I know how it is when you're in a high-intensity situation. You get a little amped up, especially when you know you're talking to somebody that has ill intent, not only towards you, but really towards humanity. Merrick Garland's a very bad person. He's a very bad person. And he enables some of the most egregious, disturbing, and disgusting behavior out there by the Injustice Department. Period. That's just the truth. So, I got more. I got Jim Jordan. I got Nels. Do I have anybody else on that? I've also got plenty from the UN that we definitely have to go over. That looks like it's going to be in the second half of the show over at the second hour. That's at rvmrumble.com, rvmrumble.com. Remember, RVM also runs an entire network, almost like any other daily, really. Monday through Friday, just jamming. Actually, on the weekends with the replays, but it jams out till 8:30, almost a 12-hour block. Really proud of what we're doing here. We're live Monday through Thursday, 9 to 11 a.m., We're going to go to a break. When we come back, it's going to be Jordan Garland, and we're really hammering this home. I'm still kind of blown away by the Lieber comment. Like that's a big comment. That's a big move. So we'll be back after this. It is Reality Rants.
We interrupt today's programming to bring unfortunate news. Biden's dangerous plan for a digital dollar is underway. Don't be fooled. It won't benefit you. So take action now. The Federal Reserve's phased deployment of FedNow began on July 1st, 2023. Be prepared. This may catch many off guard and put your hard-earned assets in jeopardy. But here's the good news. There's a simple legal tax loophole to opt out of the digital dollar. Speak to someone at American Alternative Assets for a free wealth protection guide and discover how to safeguard your wealth with gold and silver IRAs against a failing dollar and volatile markets. Dial 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now, 833-287-2465. This invaluable guide provides precise steps to transfer your IRA or 401k into precious metals without any tax consequences. Don't let Biden force you into using the government's new digital dollar. Call 833, the number 2 USA Gold. Yes, call now, 833-287-2465. Act swiftly, 833-287-2465.
We are back. It is Reality Rants. I am Jason Bermas. I do want to thank all you guys. This is the final segment in the first hour. So YouTube, remember, you want to come see that second hour free? It's easy. Come on over to RVMRumble.com. And really, you know, if you haven't been catching the second hour and you're not a premium subscriber, you get a third hour. I know it's a lot of Bermas. It's a lot of Bermas. Maybe too much Bermas. I get it. You might need a Bermas break. I sometimes need a Bermas break. Hard for me to take one. A lot of this stuff just keeps ringing in my head. Okay, let's get to Garland and Jordan. More on, this is a very, very corrupt man. And traditionally, attorney generals have been extremely corrupt. This is, wow.
Yields back, chair does not recognize himself. Quote, Mr. Weiss has full authority to bring cases in other jurisdictions if he feels it's necessary. That was your response, Attorney General, to Senator Grassley's question on March 1st, 2023. You just referenced it when Mr. Bishop was questioning you. Only problem is he'd already been turned down by the U.S. Attorney in the District of Columbia, Mr. Graves. So he didn't have full authority, did he?
I had an extended conversation with Senator Grassley at the time. We briefly touched on the Section 515 question and how that process went. I've never been suggested.
My point's real simple, Mr. Garland. You said he had complete authority, but he'd already been turned down. He wanted to bring an action in the District of Columbia, and the U.S. Attorney there said, no, you can't. And then you go tell the United States Senate under oath that he has complete authority.
I'm going to say again that no one had the authority to turn him down. They could refuse to partner with him. They could not.
You can use whatever language. Refuse to partner is turning down.
Well, it's not the same under a well-known Justice Department practice.
Here's why the statute of limitations question is important that Mr. Bishop was getting at just a few minutes ago. Here's why it's important. You let the statute of limitations lapse for 2014, 2015. Those were the years with the felony tax charges where Hunter Biden was getting income from Burisma. Here are 4 facts that I think are so important. Hunter Biden was put on the board of Burisma, made a lot of money, got paid a lot of money over those years. Couple $1 million. He wasn't qualified. Fact number 2, he wasn't qualified to be on the board of Burisma. Not my words, his words. He said he got on the board because of his last name. The brand, as Devin Archer said when he was under oath and we deposed him. Fact number 3, Burisma executives told Hunter Biden, we're under pressure, we need help. Fact number 4, Joe Biden goes to Ukraine, leverages our tax money, American people's tax money, to get the prosecutor fired who was applying the pressure. Interestingly enough, that fact is entirely consistent with what the confidential human source told the FBI, and they recorded in the 1023 form. The same form Mr. Wray didn't want to let this committee and the Congress see. That all happened. And what I'm wondering is why you guys let the statute of limitations lapse for those tax years that dealt with Burisma income.
Well, because that gives us an excuse not to look into further corruption, and there was clear evidence of this, and we didn't want to convict the guy, so yeah, no, we did it on purpose. But that's not going to be my response, because I'm A.G. Garland, and I'll just talk about best practices or a bureaucracy within the department, or the lack of evidence to what you're saying.
There's one more fact that's important, and that is that this investigation was being conducted by Mr. Weiss, an appointee of President Trump. You will, at the appropriate time, have the opportunity to ask Mr. Weiss that question, and he will no doubt address it in the public report that will be transmitted to the Congress. I don't know the answer to those questions.
Did they forget? Did the lawyers just like let it, did they just like, oh, darn, we let it, were they careless?
I expect that won't be what he says, but because I
You
promised...
know that's not the case, because as Mr. Bishop pointed out, they had a tolling agreement. They talked to Hunter Biden's defense counsel and say, let's extend the statute of limitations. And then at some point, they made an intentional decision to say, we're going to let the statute of limitations lapse. And I want to know who decided that and why they did it.
Mr. Weiss was a supervisor of the investigation at that time and at all times. He made the appropriate decisions, and you'll be able to ask him that question, and he will.
You know why they did it? Everyone knows why they did it. May not say it, but everyone knows why they did it. They didn't. Those tax years, that dealt with that involved the president. It's one thing to have a gun charge in Delaware. That doesn't involve the president of the United States. But Burisma, oh my, that goes right to the White House. We can't have that. And we can slow walk this thing along. We can even extend the statute of limitations, and then we can intentionally let it lapse. And we know this investigation was slow. Here's what everyone said. Shapley said, DOJ slow walked the investigation. Ziegler, slow walking in the approvals of everything. This happened at the Delaware's attorney's office and DOJ tax level. Mr. Sobocinski, the FBI agent, said, I would have liked to see things move faster. Ms. Holly said the same. Every witness we've talked to said this thing was slow walked, and we know why. They slow walked it long enough to let the statute of limitations run so they wouldn't have to get into Burisma. Tell me where I'm wrong.
Will the gentleman yield?
No, I'm asking Mr. Garland the question.
I think I've tried to make clear that I don't know the specifics of the investigation. Much of what you are describing occurred during the Trump administration, during a Justice Department appointed by President Trump.
No, it didn't. This is 4.5 years, this investigation. We're talking about the last few years. Your statement was just this year, March 1st, to Senator Grassley.
No, I'm sorry. I was trying to respond to your description.
And look, Trump's Justice Department, trash, garbage. They always make it about partisan bullshit. Listen, Bill Barr, Durham, and the gang were not ever your friends. Never, Sauce. Not even a little bit. That wasn't real. Okay? They weren't your buddy, guy. They weren't your pal, friend.
Descriptions of what the IRS agents said about certain things.
Statute of limitations is 6 years. That lapsed here in the Biden administration.
On the statute of limitations, we'll say again that the explanation for why the statute of limitation was lapsed, if it was, has to come from Mr. Weiss.
My time is this, but let me ask one last question real quick here. Who decided that David Weiss would stay on as U.S. attorney?
Look, this had occurred before I came. Mr. Weiss had been kept on. I promised the...
no, I didn't say, you can walk all through that. I said, who decided? The White House decided.
Mr. Weiss...
Right? They serve at the pleasure of the president, right?
Mr. Weiss was...
Joe Biden decided to keep David Weiss as U.S. attorney. You weren't sworn in until March. He was told he was going to stay on in February. Pretty fundamental question. Who decided David Weiss was going to stay as U.S. attorney in Delaware?
Mr. Chairman, your time has expired.
Mr. Chairman, your time has expired.
I'm waiting for an answer now, and I'll yield.
Well, you asked the question after your time had expired already. Point of order.
Gentleman can respond, then I'll go to Ms. Jackson-Lee.
Mr. Weiss was the special U.S. attorney from the District of Delaware when I came on. He had been appointed by President Trump. I promised that he would be permitted to stay on for this investigation, and that is what happened.
Gentleman from Texas.
Mr. Chairman.
No one wants to answer that question. Because, again, it's a corruption trick. All right, I think I got one more with Garland right here. And then we're going to wrap up the first hour. We're going to go over to RVM Rumble.com. That's where you can watch the second hour live and free. And we're going to focus on the United Nations, the sustainability agenda, and a number of other stories that I have up there. Perhaps, I'm not sure, we may be able to get into it. We'll go to the Joe Biden UN Assembly watch-along, which I'm sure is just going to be, it'll probably be a nice bookend to the beginning of the show where you had Donnie T literally up the road at one of my favorite spots to eat, doling out pizza and signing attractive young ladies' shirts. And then you're going to have Joe Biden at a place where there is no party pal. Just a bunch of terrible folks, for the most part, with terrible agendas, talking about criminalizing speech and breaking out the misinformation and disinformation boards. In fact, that's a big point before I go to this final clip that I have not gotten to, and I really need to. I had this up yesterday. Secretary Mayorkas announced the establishment of Homeland Intelligence Experts Group. The Department of Homeland Security should have never existed, and now we're going to put people like Brennan and Clapper, known liars for the Central Intelligence Agency, in a new Homeland Security group that will criminalize speech, create thought crime, and further encroach on the last vestige of civil liberties we may have left. Great. Sounds awesome. I'm stoked on it. All right, let's go to this final Garland clip.
So he would stop looking into Burisma, where Hunter was on the board. Would you agree? All right, let's let the American people decide. Play the clip. Play the clip.
I remember going over convincing our team, or others, to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from
Pay attention, sir, please.
Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who was solid.
Mr. Attorney General, what you just saw there was Joe Biden in his arrogance and role as the vice president in this country saying if you don't fire Shokin, the United States isn't giving the $1 billion loan. Why would Joe Biden say that as the vice president? Why would he say such a thing? Was it policy? Was it our policy at the time? Yes or no? It wasn't. I have documents.
He goes, no. No. Like, look at that little smug, no.
Documents here. Interagency Policy Committee dated October 15th.
Point of information, is the gentleman ever going to let the gentleman
I'm on my
answer questions?
time, pipe down.
I love it. I love it. That's right, Nadler. I mean, Nadler, again, I hate ripping on physical appearances, but Nadler literally looks like a villain out of a Tim Burton movie.
Saying Shokin had made
belongs to
significant
the gentleman
reforms.
from Texas.
He's made significant reforms. Shokin did. Matter of fact, John Kerry says he was impressive. And within a few months after Shokin was fired, they appoint a prosecutor that said, we're not going to look into Burisma anymore. Cancel that. Forget it. We're not looking into Burisma. Boom. Here comes the $1 million. Joe Biden threatened the Ukrainian president and the prime minister. Everybody can see it to fire Shokin, or the United States won't give the $1 billion. If that is not quid pro quo, sir, what is? I will tell you what it is, and America agrees with me. It's bribery, and it's impeachable. Are you going to do something about it? I bet you're not, and that's why.
I mean, it's a big smirk. They're laughing at you. He's laughing at you. All right, we got one more commercial break in the first hour. I'm going to come back to YouTube, and I'll let you know about RVMRumble.com in that second hour after this word from our sponsor.
If you're like me and you want to be prepared for the unexpected,
That's where the wellness company's emergency medical kit comes
over
in.
40% of Americans say that they would avoid a doctor or a hospital unless it was a catastrophic situation.
Medical emergency kits with.
The kit contains 8 potentially life-saving medications for you to keep on hand in the event of natural disasters, supply chain shortages, medical emergencies, or like an apocalyptic situation. These are the actual medications that you would need in the event of certain situations. So they've got emergency antibiotics, antivirals, antiparasitics.
Thank you, Krista. Sometimes I cough during the break, guys, and you put up. I now see muted, no sound. Yep. So, I guess going on my final rant that I was talking about. Thank you again, Krista. Jeez, amateur hour when I do that one. Sometimes I just quickly hit it, cough, spit into my garbage can. Gross. Second hour over at rvmrumble.com. We're going to talk about the United Nations. We're going to talk about the people out there that want to criminalize speech, bring in thought crime, and so much more. So YouTube, I will see you on